Not Just Half Place, the podcast where we explore the intersection of education and social justice through transformative conversations. I am your host, Brittany, and this is my apology tour. I joke, I kid. I wanted to pop in and do a little chit chat, do a little check in. I know I disappeared from the podcast space for a minute. I guess not too long. I've still been publishing episodes, but it's been rough out here. So I just want to do a quick check-in about where I've been and the future of the podcast, what that looks like. So let's go on a little journey. This is a relaxing episode. We're just going to chit chat. I have a script, but I've already thrown the script out the window. So we're free falling today. And that's the name of 2025, apparently. So question one, where have we been? I have been existing. I have been just surviving, getting through the day to day. This past spring, I have, been working a lot. I was teaching at two different locations and then also having my business and trying to grow that and going through a lot of really intense therapy to work on PTSD and OCD. And all of those things have been great. I think in terms of work, I have been very, very grateful for all the opportunities that I've gotten to have, all the conferences I've had, the professional development I've had the opportunity to facilitate, the groups that I've talked in front of. All of those things have been just incredible. And I am so grateful for every opportunity that I've had. But there was a lot of planning that went into that, a lot of outreach, a lot of meetings, all those things that make those things go. And then, of course, teaching in two separate schools was really intense. Again, very grateful for what I got to do and the work that I was able to create and the lessons that I was able to do. I am so incredibly grateful. This has been a really good year in terms of just my work life, but there hasn't really been any balance. That's kind of just been the struggle. I've still been recording episodes, and I was really grateful that I was able to get an editor for at least 4 episodes. That is truly the only reason I was able to publish in these last couple of months, especially in the spring during the semester, was just having someone else edit them. I am just a one-woman show back here, so I do it all. I am the CEO, I am operations, I'm HR, I'm all of it. The social media person, I'm the editor. And then I have to also put on my digital marketing hat, and I had to learn what SEO is so that I can optimize my website. And I do it all. I am the one who does. I'm the one who does. And it's great work. Again, every little component of it I do genuinely enjoy. I've enjoyed learning about online marketing. I've enjoyed learning about editing. I've enjoyed learning social media things, even though that's the thing that I like the least. I'm not a social media person. I don't care for it. But even learning some stuff about that has been really fascinating and interesting. And I've had a good time just with the learning process of it. But it is exhausting. And I would talk to people about like, oh yeah, Brady, what are you doing these days? And I'd give them a little snippet into my day-to-day life, and they're like, girl, when do you rest? And I'm like, what's rest? That's cute. So yeah, I was just like not thriving these past couple of months. I was doing a lot, but when it came to rest and relaxation, restoration, that wasn't happening. That just wasn't happening. And I knew that I needed to change things in my life. It kind of got to a point, especially this past couple of months, where I knew that if I kept going on the same path that I was on, that I was not gonna make it to old age. That just wasn't going to happen. And that was a scary thought. And my body was just sick a lot this year. I had so many illnesses, so many aches, so many pains. And so my body was really telling me that I needed to slow down, that I needed to prioritize. I've been talking about for months now at this point. I think it was back in January. I remember having the thought of, I'm on the road to burnout. And if I don't make some changes, like I will burn out. I thought I was, being really perceptive. And I was like, wow, I am just really perceptive. And I'm just so amazing at knowing myself. Like, look at me go. No, girl, you were burned out in January. You weren't on the road. You were burned out already. And so just navigating these past couple of months has been really rough. I never forgot about the podcast. I know uploads have been super spotty. I never forgot about it. It was always at the top of my mind when it came to, oh yeah, I need to edit these episodes. I need to schedule these episodes. I need to reach out to these guests. Every time I would think about doing it, I need to prioritize the things that are giving me money. As much as I love the podcast, I actually lose money making the podcast. At the end of the day, I got to pay for a couple of things to make my life easier when it comes to podcasting. It doesn't bring me any money, which is fine. I do it because I genuinely love doing it. I love the conversations. I love the community that we're building here. I love all the learning that goes into it, but it is something that is more like a hobby, I guess, at this point, and it's not something that is funding me in any way. So I've had to kind of take a step back and prioritize the things that are going to help me pay my rent and live. So that's kind of the gist of where the podcast has just really been. I made a lot of changes in my own personal life in terms of just work and trying to find balance and trying to give myself more space to just heal and to be and to not constantly be doing. I remember in the spring, right when the semester was ending, I was like, okay, once the semester's done, I'll get back into the podcast and I'll edit all these episodes. I have the editor only did audio. So if you've noticed a difference in the audio quality, it's because I had professionals doing it for like 4 episodes, but not video. So my YouTube is also just a little bit neglected, which is okay. I needed to focus on other things. I needed to focus on me and I needed a little break. And this summer, I have been really focusing on just that, finding things that bring me rest, finding things that bring me joy, reorganizing my life so that I can prioritize those things and I can give my body the rest that it needs. And that has been so helpful, really just on this road to recovery when it comes to my burnout and just my mental health and my physical health. Really what they all needed was just some downtime and some rest time. And so I've been doing more of that. I have been focusing on more creative pursuits lately. I have been inspired in due to a lot of other reasons, I won't get into all that, but I have had such a block when it comes to writing, but I love writing. It feels really good. It makes me really happy when I get to write and express myself that way. Then a couple weeks ago, I wrote a poem. And I haven't written a poem since like middle school. I don't think I've ever written a poem for fun. I think I've only written a poem because I had to. It was so fun. Just the process of putting words out there. I've joined some writing groups where we just get to write together and talk about things. And that has been really liberating and an amazing experience. And it's been helping me to just push myself in creative ways and to try new things. And that is helping me to just nurture that creative spirit that I feel like has been neglected the past really couple of years. I feel like I've made some changes career-wise in terms of just how much I'm working and where my energy is going. And so I've simplified my life in some ways. And even then, it's been a couple of weeks since I've made some big changes in my life. And I can already feel how much lighter I feel. I can sense how much better I feel and how much happier I'm feeling, not just focusing on my joy. That's a big thing I've been focusing on is finding more joy and doing those things. So I've been at the park more, I've been sitting out in the sun, I've been trying to read more books, taking lots of bubble baths. All these things have been really helping me find joy, lean into my creative soul, and find out really who I am again in the midst of all of this. I feel like I lost a lot of this idea of who I am and who I am now as a 30-year-old person. It's a little different these days, and I'm trying to learn who she is really and give myself time to do that. And so what does this all mean really at the end of the day? What does this mean for conscious pathways and what's coming forward? So one thing, there's not too many things that are changing, but there are some big things that will change. So I'm going to be sticking with the bi-weekly episode releases, or I guess I'll say bi-monthly. I'm shooting for 2 times a month episode will come out. I'm working on just being gentle with myself, but I already have several episodes that have been recorded. And so I just need to edit them. And I have some guests that I'm reaching out to. So the podcast will be continuing. I love the podcast. I love what we've created here. So that won't be really changing too much. I'm still going to be reaching out to guests. If you haven't already done so, please fill out the listener survey. I'm still keeping that open through the summer. That gives me a lot of feedback on what you're looking for and what you want to hear from this podcast. It really helps me to grow as a podcaster. Because right now I'm just doing what I feel like doing, but you guys are a part of this journey too. And so I want to incorporate more of who you want to hear from. If you are content with that, just let me know. Just fill out the survey and just let me know. You do you, girl. We like what you're doing. But in terms of changes to the podcast, one big change, the podcast will have a new name. I'm still working out what that looks like and how I launch that. And of course, like I mentioned, I pre-recorded a couple of episodes already, so you'll still hear it be called Conscious Pathways throughout these next couple of months. But just know that a change to the name is coming. It's still going to be the same podcast. My reasoning for this is Conscious Pathways is the name of my business, and I picked it for a reason because I liked it. And when I was thinking about what to call the podcast, I just was like, let's just keep it the name of my business. It'll be simple. I liked it a lot, but I would like for my business itself to have its own identity now that I have a better idea on what I want my business to look like and feel like. I want my business to have its own personality and its own identity and not be so intertwined with the podcast. I also would look for the podcast to have its own identity. So instead of just having one big mega baby, I'm just going to split them into two babies. Essentially, I'm excited about that. So I'm doing a lot of brainstorming and a lot of creative thinking around that. But once that is solidified, you will be the first to know. And you'll kind of see my socials shift and change. They'll probably be the same for a while, but just a little hint, we'll be changing up the name and the vibe will still be the same. I'll still have guests on, and we're still going to be talking about social justice in education and how do we continue to advocate for the future of education. As for continuing on and next steps, those are probably just the biggest changes that are happening right now with the podcast and with the business. I have a lot of really big ideas, but I do also want to be kind and gentle with myself and really ease into some of these things so that I can actually heal from the burnout, move forward, and not feel like this is something that's just weighing me down constantly. There will be more changes, and I'll let you know once we get to that point that I'm ready to make those changes. Again, the podcast isn't going anywhere. I want to thank everyone who has stuck with me, who's told me in person how much they enjoy the podcast and how much they say. Anyone who's reached out on social media, I really appreciate it. Burnout is real. Take care of yourself. Listen to your body. And your body will tell you when it needs rest and when it needs to lay down. And the most important thing you can do is just give it that. Because if you don't listen, it's going to make you do it. So, yeah, burnout is real. Take care of yourselves out there. I think, with all the current events and everything that's happening, no one's really thriving right now. Everyone's kind of struggling. Everyone's kind of pushing forward and moving forward. And I think that's the name of the game right now, is that we have to find little moments of joy. We have to find our little moments of ease and rest. Because when we do that, we can stay in the fight and we can keep moving forward and we can keep advocating for change and we can keep being a part of this. But we can't do that if we are empty, and we can't do that if we are completely burned out, and we can't do that if we are sick, and we cannot do that if we are not alive. So right now is a time of really taking care of ourselves, really uplifting the people who can continue to advocate and step up, right? You've heard this on the podcast so many times, but that's the name of the game when it comes to advocacy. There's times when you're going to need to step up. There's times when you're going to need to step back, and you're going to need to uplift other voices that are out there doing the work. There is no shame in taking a break. It doesn't mean that you're not an advocate. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means that you need to take care of yourself. So take care of you. And in the meantime, podcast episodes will be coming back. I'm hoping for a September launch. So it's August right now. And I'm going to be doing some editing and planning so I can go ahead and relaunch the podcast. And then all the episodes that have been released audio, I'll be editing the video episodes slowly but surely, so the video will be out on YouTube. Probably not as quickly as I would want them to be, but they will be there. Eventually, they'll make their way when they're meant to be, make their way up there. I know that will happen. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. My only ask is if you have the time and space, it'll take you about 5 minutes, fill out that listener survey. Again, it lets me know what you're looking for, what's working and what's not working. As I relaunch the podcast, it's a really great way to just give me some feedback. I would love to hear from you. Keep up with Conscious Pathways on our socials. Instagram and LinkedIn are the two places that I am posting the most right now. Right now, we're going low and slow, so I will get to all the other dreams and ambitions I have. But right now, that's it. Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. That's where you can find me. Reach out to me in any of those places. I am here if you just need to vent. I am here if you need to scream into the void. I'm here for you. We got this. We're going to keep trugging along. And until next time, wherever you are on your conscious journey, I'm right here with you. Let's lead with curiosity, courage, and kindness. And I'll see you there for more transformative conversations. Bye.